Hello, soul family. Welcome to Spiritual Manifestation. If this is your first time, welcome in. And if you've been here before, I'm so glad to have you home. Now, let me just say this right at the start. This is going to be one of those messages. You'll feel it if it's yours. Because the energy coming through right now, it's very specific. Like, Spirit is narrowing in on something here. And when I tuned into it, I instantly knew this needed its own space. So, as always, trust your intuition. You never need to force a message to fit. This reading is here for whoever it's meant for, and if it's meant for you, you'll know. There's a very particular person trying to come through right now, someone your soul is connected to. And I'm going to begin by sharing some very distinct details that might help you recognize whether this part of the message is speaking directly to your situation. Now, don't worry, your person doesn't have to match every one of these identifiers. In fact, it's more likely that just a few of them will stand out to you. But if even a couple of things resonate, that's your sign. That's your nudge from Spirit that something in this message is meant for you. So breathe, tune in, and let's see who's coming through. The first card I just pulled is the Hanged Man. And wow, this card says everything about what I'm feeling in the energy right now. There's someone who's trying to come through in this reading, and the moment I connected to their presence, I could sense how trapped they feel, not in a physical way, but emotionally and spiritually. This is someone who lives in a world that doesn't feel like their own. It's full of noise, surface-level interactions, and people who only seem to care about status or appearances. My guides are showing me that the connections around this person are mostly built on convenience, not truth. Obligation, expectation, even manipulation for some. And the really strange part is, this person isn't actually like the world they're surrounded by. I don't feel like this is someone who's superficial themselves, not at all. In fact, I'm getting the opposite. Deep down, they long for something real, something grounding, something that makes them feel seen. But they've gotten so used to blending into this shallow environment that sometimes they forget they don't belong there. And that's part of the sadness I feel coming through. There's a heaviness, this quiet ache that keeps whispering to them, this isn't your truth. This isn't your life. They've spent so long camouflaging themselves into rooms that didn't recognize their soul, that now they feel like a stranger even to themselves. They've attracted people who are opportunistic, people who want things from them, but never for them. The word materialistic keeps coming up, but not about this person, about the energy they're constantly surrounded by. People who see what they can gain, but never ask how this person is really doing. People who want access to their presence without ever connecting to their heart. And over time, that kind of energy takes a toll. It wears you down. It makes you feel like you're not even allowed to be seen for who you are. And that's where you come in, Divine Feminine. The reason this person feels such a strong pull toward you is because you're nothing like the world they've been stuck in. Your energy doesn't ask for anything, it simply is. You carry this presence that feels safe, real, soulful. My guides are saying your energy doesn't just walk into someone's life, it wraps around them like light. And this person, they felt that. Maybe before they even fully met you. Maybe they couldn't explain it, but they knew. You were different. You are different. Spirit wants me to talk directly to you now, because the truth is, you don't always realize just how powerful your energy really is. You're not meant to be understood at first glance. You're not here to be defined by labels or boxes or surface level praise. You're meant to be felt, to be experienced. Your beauty, it's not just physical, it's energetic. And yes, maybe you've been learning how to love yourself more lately. Maybe you've started noticing your own glow. But what truly draws people in is how your energy makes them feel. Peaceful, inspired, awakened, even shaken. You have this gift of staying with people long after you've left. It's like your energy continues to echo in their life, in their thoughts, in their dreams. And sometimes, people don't even realize what they had in you until you're gone. That's not your fault. That's your power. You're not easy to forget because you were never meant to be. You awaken something in others that can't be ignored, and it doesn't fade, even in silence. What's wild is you also know how to blend in when needed. You can walk into any room and instantly read the vibe. You can adjust your tone, your presence, even your energy to fit whatever space you're in. It's a kind of energetic chameleon quality. But here's the thing. Even when you're blending in, your soul still shines. People feel you, even when you're quiet, even when you haven't said a word. You were never meant to belong to just one place. You are the place. You carry it within you. And that's why this person, this masculine energy coming through so strongly, feels like he's known you forever, because you remind him of who he really is beneath the masks he's worn for so long. Your connection has stirred something inside of him that no one else ever reached. Something sacred, something silent, something that's now begging to be seen. The next card we have here is the Two of Swords. And oh wow, this card couldn't speak louder to what's happening in this energy right now. The person coming through here has been stuck in a place of deep emotional indecision, not because they don't know the truth, but because the truth is so loud, so undeniable, and so tied to you, that facing it fully would mean changing everything. They've been standing at a crossroads, blindfolded, holding two realities, one that feels comfortable but hollow, and one that feels terrifying because it's real. And that real one, that's you. And what's wild is that at first glance, they almost didn't see it. They almost didn't see you. You have this energy that's kind of like a Trojan horse. You come in looking familiar, relatable, like something their mind could categorize easily. But once you're in their field, it's like your true essence slowly reveals itself. And suddenly they're realizing you're nothing like what they've ever known. You break old beliefs down from the inside out, not by force, but just by being. You enter quietly, but your energy speaks loud. It dismantles everything fake just by existing next to it. And that's why people often misjudge you at first. You're so spiritually deep, so intuitively wise, and yet people don't always see it right away. Maybe it's because you know how to blend in. Maybe you're physically beautiful in a way that makes others focus on the outside before they ever look within. Maybe you have a soft way of speaking, or a grounded presence, or even a humble vibe that keeps people from realizing how expansive you really are. But Spirit is saying this clearly. The right ones will always know. The ones who feel instead of just look. they'll see everything. And this person, they saw it. Maybe not at first. Maybe they brushed past you in the beginning, assuming you were like everyone else. But something inside them couldn't stop thinking about you, couldn't shake your energy, couldn't explain why they felt different in your presence. And now that you've touched their field, now that your light has wrapped around them, it's made it almost impossible for them to go back to the world they used to live in. This person is going through it right now. Ever since connecting with you, everything around them has started to feel fake. People, places, conversations. They always felt like an outsider. But after being with you, it's like that feeling has only gotten louder. Because now they know what real feels like. Now they've seen it, and trying to return to a life that never made sense. It's like trying to unsee color once you've seen it for the first time. And here's the emotional truth they're sitting in. They said no. That was their choice. There was a moment, a turning point, where they could have stepped forward, chosen you, walked away from the people and places that have kept them small. But they didn't. They chose to stay. They chose the familiar, the safe, the world that doesn't reflect their soul. And on the outside, it may look like nothing's changed. But inside, they're in turmoil. It's like Spirit was handing them a moment of divine alignment, a true opportunity to walk into something soul deep. But fear whispered louder than love. And now, they're waking up in a life that no longer feels like theirs. They're surrounded by people who don't get them, who never really saw them. And your energy? It's still with them. It's lingering. Not in a haunting way, but in a reminding way. Reminding them of how they could feel, of how they did feel with you. They're having emotional flashbacks, random moments when something reminds them of you, your voice, your softness, your truth. And every time, it's like Spirit is nudging them. This is what you walked away from. And it hurts, because now they know there's someone else out there, someone like them, someone who understands. Someone whose energy made them feel at home for the first time. Someone they almost missed completely. And yet now, they can't forget. Now, I just pulled the 8 of Cups. And the message that came in immediately was this. They had to walk away to realize what they lost. This person, this masculine energy, is in a space of deep spiritual contrast right now. Their guides are showing them the difference between what was real and what was fake, between where their soul felt fed and where it now feels starved. It's not punishment, it's awakening. They're being shown over and over again what it meant to be in your energy versus what it feels like to be surrounded by people who never truly see them. And here's the strange part. They may not have even known you all that well on the surface. You two might have been physical strangers, or maybe things just never got that deep in the 3D. There might not have been long conversations or years of shared memories, but your energy, it moved something in them. It reached into places that no one else ever touched, and even if you never got close in the usual ways, your soul recognized theirs. That connection was real. Now, it's like your energy is haunting them, but in a soft, sacred way. Not in a scary way, but in a way that keeps tugging at their heart when they least expect it. They walk into a room and think of you. A song plays and your face comes to mind. They try to let you go, and then suddenly, there you are again, stronger than ever. That's the boomerang effect Spirit is showing me. Every time they push you away, your energy returns like a wave with even more power, because you weren't just someone they met, you were an activation. And they felt it, even if they didn't know how to name it at the time. That's why it's been so hard for them to move forward. It's why nothing else feels quite right. They chose to stay in a world that doesn't reflect who they really are. They picked comfort over growth, safety over soul. And now, it hurts. The people around them don't understand them. They're pretending to be okay, but their soul is screaming for something more, for something real, for you. This is why the sacred journey, masculine, and travel energies are coming up so clearly, because Spirit isn't letting them skip this part. They're being asked to step into a higher version of themselves, and that journey began the moment they met you. Whether you were in their life for a season or a moment, your presence cracked something open. And now that it's open, they can't pretend it didn't happen. They've tried. They've buried themselves in work, in distractions, in logic. But the heart doesn't play by those rules. The soul doesn't forget what woke it up. Meanwhile, divine feminine, you're entering something completely different. You're in your receptive era now. And I know that's not easy, especially if you felt a strong pull to this person. But your guides are gently reminding you, stay open, stay soft. Don't let this connection pull you into your masculine energy. You're not meant to chase. You're meant to receive. You are the magnet, not the seeker, and your power lies in your surrender. You might be called to create new routines, daily rituals, movement, journaling, sacred space work, whatever helps you stay in alignment. Spirit is saying that you already know what works for you. You just have to do it consistently. That's how you widen your capacity to receive. That's how you stretch your energy into the life you've been praying for. It's not just about waiting. It's about becoming the version of you who already has it. And here's what's beautiful. You're entering your flow state. The more you lean into what feels good, what feels aligned, what feels natural, the more magic will unfold. You don't need to control it. You just need to let it move through you. You are being guided, protected, nourished, and all of this, every twist, every emotional wave, it's shaping the most beautiful chapter of your sacred journey. The next card just pulled is the Sun. And the moment it came through, I felt this huge wave of warmth and confirmation. Divine feminine, you're stepping into a season of receiving. Spirit is saying that things are about to open up for you in a big way, not just emotionally, but energetically, physically, spiritually. Blessings that have been building behind the scenes are finally finding their way into your 3D world. And these aren't small changes. These are the kinds of blessings that shift your whole frequency, that change how people see you, that make the people who once overlooked you wonder how they missed your light in the first place. I'm seeing clearly now that something in your life that once felt blocked is about to be transformed into harmony. Whether this is related to love, finances, or even just your personal sense of stability, it's like the universe has been holding this space for you, just waiting for you to be ready to receive it. And now you are. That block you've been feeling, that stuck energy, it's clearing. And as it clears, peace is flowing in where tension once lived. And here's what's wild. Your shine is about to attract attention, a lot of it, and not all of it will feel good at first. When you glow like this, when you rise like this, it activates things in people: curiosity, envy, wonder. Some will be inspired by you. Others might project their confusion as whispers or questions. How is she doing that? How did she shift so fast? Where is all this success coming from? But you'll know. It's your alignment, it's your surrender, it's your power. And yes, let's go ahead and circle back to that person from the beginning of this reading, because whether they admit it or not, they're going to be watching, feeling, picking up on your frequency even when you're nowhere near them. This person may have created space, they may have pulled away, but your energy, it didn't leave, it stayed, it lingered, and it's working on them in ways they probably don't even understand. Spirit is saying very clearly here, you already gave them the gift. It might have been something small, a conversation, a moment, a soft opening of your heart, or maybe it was energetic, unspoken. But whatever it was, it moved them. You didn't just show up, you transferred something into their life. And that energy is still there, sitting inside of them, creating pressure, pushing them to grow, forcing them to feel, calling them to evolve. They may not even realize that's what's happening, but they know something inside is shifting. And it started with you. Now here's the part that really matters. You're being asked to step back. Not out of rejection, not out of fear, but out of trust. Because if you move too soon, if you try to fix it, explain it, guide it, you actually slow down what Spirit is already doing. It's not your job to be the bridge here. Your energy already built it. Now let the divine masculine find his way across. And here's what's beautiful. Spirit is saying, the transfer is complete. You've done your part. You planted the seed. You watered it with your love, your presence, your light. And now you get to rest. You get to receive. You get to shine. The next months are going to be filled with so many chances for expansion, joy, and real spiritual alignment for you. You're being called to embody all the wisdom you've gathered, not just think about it, not just reflect on it, but live it. Rituals, movement, sacred habits, consistent spiritual practices, all of it will help you anchor your energy and keep you in that powerful flow state. And when you're in that flow, that's when things begin to pour in. Unexpected support, soul-aligned opportunities, emotional clarity, peace, and yes, maybe even reconnection, but this time on your terms. Not because you chased it, but because you became the version of you who no longer needs to. So allow yourself to glow. Let the whispers come. Let them watch. Your job now is to stay open and keep rising. Now, I just pulled the Lover's card. And the moment I did, I felt this rush in my chest, like something ancient waking up inside the heart. This isn't about romance in the traditional sense. This is about a soul contract, a sacred meeting. One that was written in the spirit realm long before the two of you ever crossed paths in this lifetime. Because Divine Feminine, when you met this person, something inside you knew. Something inside you said, I have to connect with them. And it didn't make logical sense. But that didn't matter. Because this wasn't a thought. This was a pull. And here's what's so significant about that. You don't chase people. You're not someone who gives your energy away easily. In fact, you're very selective. You're someone who feels safe in your own space. You're nourished in solitude. You prefer quiet over crowds, depth over surface. So the fact that you felt this intense, almost obsessive urge to connect with this person, to speak to them, to look at them, to be near them, it wasn't random. It wasn't you losing your mind. It was divine timing unlocking itself through your intuition, and your soul knew that now was the moment. You may not have known why at the time. Maybe you even questioned yourself. Why do I feel this way about someone I barely know? Why do I suddenly feel like I have to speak, to act, to reach out? But the truth is, you were carrying something, a frequency, a light code, an energy, something sacred that was meant to be transferred to this person. It wasn't about getting something from them. It was about delivering something to them. Something their soul had been calling in without even realizing it. And that's what I've been calling the gift. You were the vessel that carried it, and Spirit nudged you forward, maybe even shoved you a little, because the timing was delicate. I'm hearing it was barely open, like a small window had opened in this person's field, a crack in their spiritual armor, a space in their soul where they were finally ready to receive. And the universe sent you in, not because you were ungrounded or impulsive, but because you were aligned, activated, and aware. You could feel the pull because the contract was real. For some of you, this gift may have been transferred in a fleeting moment, a single eye lock that sent chills down your spine, a few words spoken, a passing conversation that felt heavier than it should have. Or maybe it was a physical gesture, a gift, a message, a look. It could have lasted 10 seconds or 10 minutes, but you knew when it happened. You felt it, not just emotionally, but viscerally. It was like your whole body reacted to it. And then the emotion hit, that wave, that ache, that sudden need to cry, or the feeling that something had been taken from you, or maybe completed through you. That wasn't confusion, that was confirmation. That was your spirit recognizing that the energy transfer had taken place. You did what you came here to do. You passed on what you were holding, and their soul received it, whether they consciously understood it or not. For some of you, the sadness or exhaustion that followed may have felt overwhelming. It might have felt like something in you cracked open, like you were too raw, too exposed, like you gave a piece of yourself that you weren't ready to part with. But I need you to hear this. That wasn't loss. That was release. Your soul was releasing what it had been carrying for them, what it had been waiting to deliver. And once it did, your body, your heart, your spirit felt the shift. You might not have gotten a thank you. You might not even have gotten a second glance. But Spirit wants you to know this: the transfer was successful. And that moment, it was never about recognition. It was about alignment. It was about divine timing. And your willingness to follow your heart, even when it didn't make sense, was exactly what allowed this sacred moment to happen. You were never imagining it. That pull was real. That gift was real. And you were chosen to give it. The next card I just pulled is the High Priestess. And the timing of this card is absolutely divine because it speaks to everything I'm feeling in this last wave of the reading. You see, after the moment of energetic transfer, after you gave this person the gift your soul came here to deliver, something shifted in you, not just energetically, but emotionally. because then came the silence, the not knowing. And in that silence, your mind may have started whispering things like, did I do enough? Did they feel it? Did it even matter? It's like mailing someone a letter with your whole heart in it. You drop it into the mailbox, walk away, and wait, and wait, and wait. But no response comes. So you start wondering, did it even reach them? Was the message lost in the mail? Did they even open it? And yet what Spirit wants you to know, what this card is screaming, is message received, loud and clear, even in silence, especially in silence. The work you came here to do was felt. It landed, and it's working right now. But here's the thing, and this is so important. You can't rush the results. The transformation that's unfolding within this person isn't going to happen out loud. It's happening in layers, in their inner world, where it can't be interrupted. And your role now is to step back. Because if you reinsert yourself, if you reach out or push or try to check if it worked, it disrupts the sacred process that's underway. You become the distraction. You break the mirror that's been reflecting their truth back to them in your absence. This is why your absence is powerful. It's not rejection. It's not punishment. It's spiritual pressure. That space they created by pulling away, it's not a void. It's a container. And now, in that container, the energy you left behind is swirling, pressing, expanding. Your silence is speaking louder than words. Your energetic imprint is amplifying in the quiet, and they can't run from it. Not really, not anymore. And I know how hard that is, because you're not just meant to let go. You're meant to not fixate. You're meant to trust that Spirit is still working behind the veil, that everything that needed to be exchanged has already been exchanged, that you've done your part with grace and love, and now it's time to choose peace, to choose your path, to choose you. Your guides are calling this your flourishing phase, your receptive era. This is the season where you return to yourself, where the blessings start to bloom because you finally allowed them to. Your job isn't to chase, it's to align, to embody, to radiate, to stay in the flow of your own becoming. And yes, that's hard when your heart feels tethered to someone who's still catching up, but that's exactly why this is sacred. And here's something else Spirit wants you to remember. Your subconscious is wide open right now. That's why this person keeps popping into your mind at random. That's why you keep seeing their name, their birth date, their favorite song, why they show up in your dreams. You're not making it up. It's not just nostalgia. Your subconscious and theirs are still in conversation, still weaving energy between realms, still carrying the echoes of the contract you've fulfilled. Because you, Divine Feminine, are not in a waiting room. You're in a blooming phase, and your job is to water your own roots, to keep your heart soft, your mind clear, and your field open. Let Spirit handle the rest, because it's already happening. And the more you rest in that knowing, the faster it comes into form. Now I just pulled the Ace of Cups, and instantly I felt a soft but powerful shift in the energy. This isn't just about love, this is about overflow, a sacred moment of emotional renewal, the kind that only happens when something deep has been poured out, and now Spirit is ready to fill you again. After everything you've given, after all the energy you've transferred, it's your time to receive. This is the part of the story where your own cup begins to refill, not from anyone else, but from Source, from your own spirit, from the universe responding to your yes. And right now, you're being guided to stay soft and magnetic. You've been through so much, so many spiritual twists and emotional surges, but this next part of your journey doesn't require effort. It requires surrender. You're not chasing, you're not proving, you're simply allowing. That's the key to the Ace of Cups energy. It flows in when we stop trying to hold everything up and just let ourselves be held. Now let's go deeper, because there's something blooming inside this person, something quiet but undeniable. When you crossed paths with them, when that transfer happened, you awakened a part of their heart that had been sealed off for a long time. And even if they pulled away, that part is still open. They're not the same. And that pressure they're feeling now, it's building not because they're being pushed by anyone else. It's rising because their soul knows it's time. This person has been trying to stabilize, to ground themselves, to push your energy aside, but it's not going anywhere. And that's because love, real love, doesn't disappear when it's ignored. It lingers, it grows. And that's exactly what's happening here. The more they try to resist, the louder their own heart becomes. And you're not doing anything right now. You're just being. You're letting your energy speak in the silence, and it's working. But here's what Spirit wants you to know. You've already done enough. You gave them something sacred, something rare. You don't need to keep showing up or trying to be understood. The seed was already planted. And the Ace of Cups confirms that it's sprouting in the unseen. The emotional work you've done, the surrender, the letting go, it's clearing the space for new life. And that life is coming back around. Not because you went after it, but because you released it with love. So now you rest, you create, you soften. This is your blooming phase, your sacred renewal. Let your cup be filled. Let your spirit rise. This is the beginning of the overflow. It's your turn to receive. Moving on to the next card, I just pulled Judgment. And this is one of those moments where spirit gets loud. This card doesn't come through softly. It comes through like a trumpet blast to the soul. It's the call that can't be silenced anymore. And that's exactly what I'm feeling in this divine masculine's energy right now. After everything, after the silence, the resistance, the emotional pressure, what's happening is a full-blown soul awakening. He's facing himself in the mirror now. No more running, no more hiding behind logic or distractions. His soul is waking up. He's being pulled toward his highest timeline, toward healing, toward becoming the version of himself that can actually hold this love. And I keep seeing it, him offering you the rose, not out of performance, not out of pressure, but because his heart finally knows. But Spirit wants to be clear. Just because he may come forward doesn't mean you have to say yes. This is your life, your story. You are the conscious creator. You get to decide what feels aligned for you. The power is and has always been yours. And the most powerful thing you can do to support this process, if you want to, is to stay soft, open, and receptive, but also detached. You don't have to watch his every move or question the timing. You don't have to fix anything. You've already given the gift. The message was received, and now your part is complete. You're not the one who needs to cross the next bridge. He is. and judgment is the card that says, it's time. What I'm feeling now is intense. He's not just having a realization, he's having an identity crisis. He's looking at his old life, his old habits, his old communities, and it's not fitting anymore. Something's cracked open. And now, the people around him are starting to notice the shift too. They might call it a midlife crisis, or a quarter-life crisis, or say he's not acting like himself. But what's really happening is rebirth. He's awakening. And awakening doesn't always look graceful. Sometimes it looks like chaos. Sometimes it looks like breaking down before breaking through. I'm hearing the phrase, "that changed you." And it's coming from the voices around him, people whispering, people questioning. Maybe they're talking about you. Maybe they're saying, "Ever since you met her, you've been different." And they're right. You did change him. Not because you tried to, but because your energy was always meant to be the catalyst. You were the mirror, the spark, the divine interruption. And now, even though he's trying to come back down to earth, to ground again, to make sense of what happened, the truth is, he can't go back. He's been sitting in silence, trying to process, trying to understand what he received from you. And judgment confirms that it wasn't just a feeling. It was an activation. It was a spiritual rerouting. And no matter how much he tries to box it up or explain it away, the shift already happened. It's in motion now, and it's leading him somewhere new. What's beautiful is that I see the energy beginning to clarify. He's being pulled toward you, not through ego, but through intuition, toward the high priestess, toward the one who made him feel something he hadn't felt in a long time, maybe ever. And even though he may still feel confused, scared, or unworthy, deep down, he knows. You are the wish. You are the truth. You are the soul mirror that his spirit recognized before his mind even had time to catch up. And that's the power of judgment. It brings the mind and the soul face to face. And in that confrontation, real change is born. Now, I just pulled is the star. And my heart actually softened the moment I saw it. This card is the gift. It's the answer to everything we've been circling around this whole time. You were the star, and what you gave them wasn't just presence or conversation or a beautiful moment. It was light, a soul-level light, the kind that heals without effort, the kind that reminds someone who's lost in the dark what it feels like to hope again. This reading has been long and layered, and I know we've covered so much, but I need to stay with this just a little longer because this final download is coming through so clearly now. We keep talking about the gift, the transfer, and now it's being shown in a way I can't ignore. The moment you met this person, whether it was brief or stretched out over time, you gave them something they had never received before. A kind of love that didn't ask for anything in return. A look, a word, or maybe nothing was even said. But something real was passed between you. I kept seeing it before I even pulled this card, the energy of the star, and Spirit just confirmed it. This gift was unconditional love, the kind that doesn't try to mold or possess, the kind that simply sees. You looked at them, whether literally or energetically, and you saw them. And in that moment, they felt more whole, more safe, more expanded than they'd ever felt in their life. They felt held, like maybe, just maybe, they weren't broken after all. And it didn't require words. With their throat chakra blocked, I don't think they could have spoken about it even if they tried. They didn't know how to say what they felt, but their soul understood it completely. You grounded them, you lifted them, you helped them feel that the rules that used to confine them no longer applied. Something opened, and it scared them. Because the moment they received that light, they looked away. Not because it wasn't real, but because it was. And when someone's been walking through life feeling small, unseen, disconnected, being truly seen can be overwhelming. It's exposure, it's rawness, it's divine pressure. And they couldn't hold the gaze, so they turned. But here's the part I need you to hear. They felt it too. Not just a little, not just a whisper. They felt it in their chest, in their throat, in their tears. I'm hearing they might have even cried after your interaction, quietly, alone, in silence. Not because they understood what happened, but because something cracked wide open inside them. You didn't just give them comfort, you gave them permission to feel, to hope, to want something more. And now, that urgency you felt at the beginning, the rush to connect, to speak, to be near them, that's in them now. Spirit showed me that clearly. The energy flipped, the torch was passed, the ball went into their court. Because you delivered the message, you made the move, you fulfilled your part of the contract. And now it's their turn to feel that inner pull, that longing, that quiet sense of, I have to find my way back. Even if they're resisting, even if they're trying to push it down, they know they've been activated. That light you gave them, the one that opened their heart and softened their edges, is still there, still flickering, still working. Because the star doesn't just shine when it's easy, it shines because it was born to. And that's what you are to them. You're the proof that love exists, the evidence of something sacred. And now, they're the one feeling pulled, drawn, called to rise, to act, to return. The next card I just pulled is the Two of Cups. I heard it so clearly. This love changed everything. This wasn't just a fleeting connection. It wasn't a crush. It wasn't chemistry. This was a mirror, a soul recognition, a there you are kind of meeting. And now, this person can't unsee what they saw, can't unfeel what they felt, can't unknow the truth you handed them so quietly, so powerfully. Because the moment your energies connected, something shifted in them, something broke open. And this part won't be for everyone, but if your intuition is telling you there was another romantic connection involved on their end, maybe a current relationship, a past one they still hadn't fully closed, or a long-term situation that never truly felt aligned, then this next part is for you. Because what I'm hearing is that when your energy entered their life, something inside them woke up, something that had been buried, muted, rationalized away for years. The kind of passion they had always dreamed about but convinced themselves didn't actually exist in real life. They used to be able to settle, to tell themselves, this is good enough, to numb out the part of them that longed for more. But then they met you, and you didn't just stir their emotions. You reflected back their unspoken desires. You made them feel again. And now, even if they're still physically connected to someone else, emotionally, their heart is no longer fully there. And they know that. They can feel the absence of passion more clearly now, because they've tasted something real. You showed them what love is supposed to feel like, what it can be. And now they're stuck in the space between truth and convenience. Their current situation may still be standing, but it's hollow because you exist now. You prove that soul-deep connection isn't just a fantasy, and they're struggling with that. Because if they don't walk away from what isn't aligned, they'll have to live with the knowing that they chose to stay small, that they chose safety over soul, familiarity over fulfillment. It's painful for them. That's what Spirit is making clear here. Because even if they've been silent, even if they seem like they're carrying on with life as usual, inside they're unraveling. They're thinking, replaying, wondering if they've already lost the one person who truly saw them, the one person who gave them a taste of the love they always hoped was out there. And now they feel torn, because this isn't just a choice between two people, it's a choice between two versions of themselves. And the most heartbreaking part, they know you're holding their heart, whether you've spoken or not, whether you're in communication or not. They can feel the pull in their chest, the soft thread that still connects them to you. You're the one that awakened it, and it's still there, quiet, present, unbreakable. For our last card, I just pulled the World, and wow, this card brings everything full circle. This reading has been powerful, layered, and honestly, deeply sacred, and it needed to be. Because the energy coming through wasn't just about love or clarity, it was about completion. Something needed to land, something needed to be sealed. And you, Divine Feminine, were the one who opened the space for that to happen. You've been the anchor, the channel, the sacred co-creator of this message. Every one of these readings is a co-creation. It's not just about the words, it's about your energy. And I want to thank you for being such a powerful part of that. Whether you're listening silently or you feel guided to share your story in the comments, your presence is felt, you are seen, you are known in this space. And I honor the way you've held your heart open to receive every part of this message, even the parts that brought up tears or longing or remembering. That's healing in motion. As I mentioned earlier, if this message resonated with you, especially the more specific parts, I would truly love to hear from you in the comments. Even if it's just a sentence or an emoji, your words ripple in ways you may not even realize. Because this community isn't just for watching, it's for witnessing. And I hope that in this space, you feel safe to unfold, to rise, to feel less alone in the depth of your journey. Okay, this feels like a beautiful place to close the reading, because what I'm feeling now, what the world confirms, is that a full cycle has been completed. The energy has shifted, the message has landed, and your next season is already beginning. I'm manifesting continued momentum for you with growth, breakthrough, love, peace, clarity, creativity. Everything you've been preparing for is about to meet you. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I love you all so much. I'm beyond grateful to share this space with you. And I cannot wait to connect again in the next video.